Right, a great good evening to you wherever you find yourself. You're definitely live on the George Sports Channel and Multi TV. My name is George Addo Jr. and I bring to you Sports Nights. Obviously, you know, here we have the big name interviews. We have all the interviews that you certainly want to really listen into, and we're going to have a wonderful one today as well. There cannot be anything bigger than the MTN FA Cup final that will take place later this weekend on Sunday at the Cross Sports Stadium. It's between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Mediama SC. We're going to be talking a lot about it. Indeed, all the issues surrounding the MTN FA Cup competition. Just in case you didn't know, the winner of the MTN FA Cup competition also gets a chance to go and compete or represent Ghana in the CAF Confederations Cup. So it's a wonderful competition tonight. We're going to be talking to one very special guest I'll be introducing right after the break. You know what exactly to do. You can let your text messages come through. Still live on the Joy Sports Channel on Multi TV. We're back after the short break. All right, so thank you very much for staying with us, and we'll definitely zoom straight into the discussion. One, I know that you're definitely going to enjoy every bit of it. In the studios, I have Mr. Ket Okreku, and he's definitely going to be talking a lot about this. And you're welcome to the studio, Mr. Okreku.
Thank you very much.
You can see very well, I hesitated a bit in trying to get straight into exactly what the portfolio is for some time now. We're not too sure whether to put it communications. Maybe you were the best person to tell us.
No, just say Kurt, member of the committee.
Member of the committee,
yeah.
Or I should say the member of the committee in charge of communications, because you've seen, you actually, you know, in the front running when it comes to communications now.
Well, possibly that's a responsibility bestowed on me by the committee, but I think that I'm a member of the committee.
Just a member of the committee,
yes,
as it is. And, of course, you're also CEO of Proton Services, doing some fantastic, job around, this soccer and sports arena. Anything connected like that to MTN, or here you're totally sure of that?
No, well, I think that it's intertwined. I mean, I have my responsibility at Proton, but, of course, the human being is also involved in the MTN FA Cup. So it's about the same, so to say. But I think today we are here because of the MTN FA Cup. And
we'll talk about it. And just I told you, Kero Kwaku, he says he chooses to call himself a member of the committee. We'll stay with that at least for now. And let me come straight to you. Let's talk about, this season. The interesting thing about the MTN FA Cup is we call it the Obianyo Bia MTN FA Cup. And at least for the last 2 years, and even maybe this year, we don't know what's going to happen. But we've had, clubs from nowhere coming up and stunning other clubs. How has this season's MTN FA Cup been for you?
Well, first of all, let me say that the competition is the only platform that allows clubs in the lower leagues to compete with clubs in the top league of our association football. Okay, and on such platforms, the smaller clubs always want to be tops. Hence, Obianyo Bia. You know what I mean? They don't want to give anybody a chance. If you play in your Premier League, so be it. We also the dons of the lower leagues, you know what I mean? So it's been a fantastic journey. We've had a fantastic 3-year relationship with MTN, our proud title sponsors. In year one, like you rightly said, we had one Nanya FC emerging from nowhere to win the trophy. The trophy being the biggest is really, really huge and heavy. And this must be a warning to the boys who've never lifted the MTN FA Cup trophy before. Okay. Now, from the victory of Nanya FC, we've had the current captain of the national under-20 team, the reserve goalie who came on and conceded that goal, Michael Sai, Prince Bafo with Kumasi Asante, Michael Anaba, just to mention a few. Okay. Thomas Abbey in Hearts of Oak. These are the products of the first season of the MTN FA Cup. And I'm sure that without the MTN FA Cup, we would never have gotten to know these boys. Because these are boys who played for relatively small clubs in Ghana. Okay, but we provided a platform, and it's a unique platform, I've always said this, for these people or for these boys to show that they have some quality. The result is that today, our national teams are enjoying from the benefits of the MTN FA Cup competition. Year two, we saw another unsung heroes, New DBRC winning the championship. From there, we've had Asido Atobra, who is now a household name in the country. Abeku Enusin, now with the local Black Stars, and captain of New DBRC, just to mention a few. Okay, so it's been a very good journey. Trying to answer your question again. This year, it's been fantastic. I think that I'm so much in love with the word fantastic for the MTN FA Cup. We've had maybe very negligible problems. Problems we would normally have in season 1 and season 2, okay, but because of the enormous amount of data and experiences that we all went through as a committee or as a team, we were able to deploy perhaps the right strategies in making sure that problems were very minimal. The result is that this year's competition has been a lot smoother than we had in season 1 and season 2. We've not had problems at all officiating above par. I would not say that it's been 1,000,000%. It's been above par. Perhaps better than the Premier League, okay? One of the key strategies that we've always deployed is a consistent and constant engagement of the referees committee. I think people are not aware of this, okay? We've always engaged them. This week, we've engaged them twice. You know what I mean?
That's right.
The idea is that we want to always keep them on their toes to be able to give us the best. And we are positive that the match officers who have been appointed for Sunday's game will deliver good services to the football industry. So it's been a give and take. I mean, perhaps our strongest point is that we've had good cooperation from the executive committee of the Football Association, led by Kwesi Nyantechi, who's always opened his doors and at times walked into our meetings to sit with us. The referees committee, the Division 1 League board, the Premier League board, the media, our media partners, for those of you who have been so close to the competition and showed the product on your various networks. It's been a very good support. I think that it's been more than one would expect, given the kind of, in quotes, not too much motivation around the products, you know what I mean? But I think that people have been very supportive. The RFAs, they have been the men on the ground helping us with the management of the product on a daily basis. I think that we've had unbelievable amounts of support from people.
So it's been fantastic. You want to stack the words.
I don't want to be Alex Ferguson here.
So it's one that we're going to be, trying to manage. It's, as you said, it's been 3 years. I should assume that you have. I mean, the committee has learnt a lot. You think you've grown a lot in experience?
No, definitely. First of all, we should be grateful for the executive committee's decision of allowing majority of us to stay with the product. I mean, for those of us who were part of the team that started the rejuvenation of the product 3 seasons ago, we've still had the chance of being part of it, and therefore we know how the road is. We know where the bumpy areas are. We know where the smooth areas are, and as a result of that, we've been able to deploy some good strategies in making sure that the bad roads have been tied on properly, and we've had perhaps minimal problems. We have 2 very, very good combatants qualifying from a pool of 112.
That's right.
It's a really, really huge competition, okay? Yes, you have the Premier League played by or competed for by clubs only in the Premier Division 1 League by the 48 clubs, but this is the MTN FA Cup, 112 clubs. You know what I mean? And to take into consideration the individual interests of each and every club is not an easy job. Okay, I mean, majority of the clubs who compete in this competition are clubs who belong to the lower leagues, 48 Division 1, 48 Division 2. And that is where the work is. I mean, that is the wilderness of Ghanaian football. And therefore, to be able to come through up to this level, it's amazing.
Excellent. As you're talking about all of this, and we're trying to pay more attention to this. And to be fair to the MTN, management committee or the MTN committee, you've not had issues with having to review games, issues with having to deal with disciplinary issues. I mean, it's been fantastic.
Well, like I said, even if it does exist, it's been very minimal, honestly speaking. Okay, I remember in season 1 we had loads of problems. Okay, and I've always said on various platforms that the biggest problem we've had has been a psychological problem. The product had been in abeyance for 10 years, and that has affected regulations of the sport. There were no regulations, you know what I mean? Or even if it existed, very minimal. Okay, the general mental attitude or mental psyche of the football populace is skewed towards the Premier League. So everybody is just looking at the Premier League and trying to deploy strategies that are managed, that are used to manage the Premier League to manage the MTN FA Cup. But that is not the case, So over 3 years, we've tried to fight that mental battle. I think gradually we are beginning to erode that perception that it's only the Premier League that is the product available in the football industry. And now people know that there's another one, perhaps a bigger one, because it involves a large number of clubs, and people have grown to accept. And I'm sure that on Sunday we would see that, look, yes, there's an emerging force, a product that is unique on its own, a product that is loved, a product that is key to a key component of football, emotions. Okay, it's a straight knockout competition, and therefore there's a lot of emotions surrounding the product. You go into a game over 90 minutes and there must be a winner. After 90 minutes, you move in either into a straight penalty shootout or extra time before a penalty shootout. So there are a lot of emotions, a lot of tensions surrounding some of the games or most of the games. And this is very, very important for football to be very exciting. You know what I mean? Yeah. Without the emotive part of football, there's no football. That's why when games are fixed in certain territories and you happen to be a football fan, you go to the game and you start to sleep because the game is already predetermined. There's no emotive part to the game.
Maybe I should stay with the predetermination. And, well, it's something that we hear and something that we know that when competitions
but it's not familiar with the FA Cup.
So I'm coming there. You know, when teams, I mean, when competitions are organized, like the UEFA Champions League and all the other, you know, the FA Cups across, there's a certain feeling that the organizers want this to go a certain way. And I remember well when the draw was made, looking at the pairings, everybody was thinking that you were looking at a Kotoko Hartlepool final. Is that true? It didn't happen. You might be disappointed.
Let me tell you this. Everybody in this world, especially for those of us who are into association football, would love to see a Real Madrid-Barcelona game all the time. It's a fact.
That's right.
But when fixtures for the La Liga are drawn and the two clubs have to meet only twice, you can make it three. True or false?
Yes, of course, you can make it three.
So it's same is applicable here.
But in
okay?
the MTN FA Cup,
I'm just saying that when you set out to organize a competition, once in a while you're looking out for big games, okay? Because of course you have the live audience, which will be the fans at the stadium to entertain, the TV audience to entertain, your sponsors and everybody, and therefore if you're happy or if you are lucky to get a big game, you should be happy. But the point is that you do not determine which games come up. It's as true as today is a Thursday. You know what I mean? So yes, people have their own opinions about games and blah 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 blah. At the end of the day, if we wanted, assuming, or granted that it's possible, we wouldn't have been sitting here talking about Mediama FC and Kotoko.
You had plotted it. Maybe you had plotted it. You had plotted that this is the way it should go, and then there was a hitch. Suddenly in the end. So you say Kotoko go this way, Hasbro go this way, and that was the feeling.
I think that, like I said from the beginning with my analogy, everybody, you inclusive, would love to see Kotoko Hartlepool game. Okay, but you do not determine which games come up via the balloting. That's why we always ensure that balloting is done in the full glare of everybody. I remember, was it the quarterfinal balloting? We allowed everybody to be there, and we went through the processes step by step to make sure that everything was transparent. There was no Hartlepool Koto game. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is that I remember when I was in management of Hearts of Oak. I mean, I went through the management of such a game, Hearts of Oak Kotoko, and it's not easy. Okay, if you are in management of both clubs and you are in a key position to manage such a game or to even prepare your team to compete against each other, it's not too easy at all. And normally, personnel from both clubs try to avoid each other, okay, because of the tensions and whatnots and the national character that it brings onto the table, etc., etc. But everybody wants fun, okay, and if the clubs who come out of the ballot box are able to provide us with the fun, why not? And Sunday we'll see fun. Because Kotoko and Mediama are two very, very quality teams. Mediama occupied the top spot of the Premier League for 22 weeks, okay, and only got booted because they went to sleep in a bit. You know what I mean? And they think that if there's a league that travels over 30 weeks and they occupy the top spot for 22 weeks, they are the true champions, not the Johnny Just Comes Kotoko. You know what I mean? So having said that, I think that Mediama and Kotoko would provide us with good football. We would create a good footballing atmosphere, good entertainment. We've deployed in what we think is an appropriate pricing strategy to encourage people to come to the grounds to watch the game. I mean, for a game of this stature, you don't expect people to be paying 2 Ghana cedis. Okay, even in top Premier League games, they don't charge 2 Ghana cedis. They charge more than that. We're charging 2 cedis at the gates. It's popular stand, also stand 3 Ghana cedis, both lower and upper VIP, 5 Ghana cedis, and VVIP 10 Ghana. Our idea is that we want everybody to access this game. Okay, we're also allowing free access to women, ladies, young and old, kids, free access. It's virtually an open day for everybody, you know. So I think that we've done enough to encourage people to consume our local sport, because we think that if, for instance, we say even Fulham, with all apologies, and Charlton Athletic are in Accra playing, everybody will want to go and see. Why not our own? Okay, so that was one of the key things that went into our minds when we're looking at which pricing strategy to deploy, and I think that we believe we've done a good job.
Well, very interesting again, and that's we were making the point. There are fears, you know, just to say there were fears that the stadium might not be filled on Sunday, and that's probably, is that the pressure that's pushed you to doing all of these things?
Well, I think that we've come through. This will be the 3rd FA Cup grand finale, and I think on the 2 previous occasions we've been able to draw a sizable number of people to the stadium when it didn't involve Hearts of Oak and Kotoko at the same time. Okay. In season 1, we had Esetin Nania FC and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. In season 2, we had New Edubiase and who? Ashanti Gold.
Ashanti Gold. It still worked.
Okay, so we did it. Okay, and I think that over time we've been able to get enough experiences, so to say, to encourage people to believe in our own, to encourage people to consume our local sport, and to encourage people to believe that, look, Mideama Sporting Club and Kotoko have quality in the 2 sides. Okay, I mean, we've just seen the national U20 team play. We've seen players who everybody know that play their trade outside the shores of Ghana, and we've seen players from our local league also competing against them. And you could see that there's quality here. Okay, look at Seydou Salifu. He plays for which club? Wow Stars.
Wow Stars.
Wow Stars. You know what I mean? And he's one of the very good players in the national U20 team. So there's quality. If we find quality, if we go looking for quality, we will find quality. And I think that Mideama Sporting Club and Kotoko have quality.
Excellent. And let's talk about the round of 64, because there's been something about the round of 64 that every defending champion gets to go out of it. I wonder whether I don't know where that comes from, but the same thing happened to Nani FC. It was a round of 64. You remember very well, Olympics, got him out of it. New Edubiase, the same fashion, went out of it. What is it about the round of 64? Because that's the point where the defending champions seem to be breaking.
You see, especially for this year, we tinkered a bit with the format. Okay, of the competition. In season 1 and season 2, we always allow 48 Division 1 and 48 Division 2 clubs to play in a mix-up. Okay. This year, what we did was to allow, first of all, Division 2 clubs to play among themselves, to pick the 24, and then 48 clubs, Division 1 clubs, to also play among themselves to pick the 24, making 48, and then they will be joined by the 16 Premier League clubs. Now, at that stage, the clubs in the lower leagues want to show off that, look, you think that you play in a category called the Premier League, but you are not Premier League materials. We believe that even though we play in Division 1, we have the quality, so let's compete. And this is exactly what happened to, for instance, New Edubiase and Nania FC. You know, they were just caught sleeping a bit, and the flight took off.
Very interesting. So the build-up to this year's, competition has been fantastic. But let's look at the publicity. And maybe would you say that the change of dates for the final has affected your plans a bit?
Well, I think that we've had to fight some external factors. Okay, we've had to fight over. We've had to fight the threats being posed by, for instance, the U20 World Cup. In some point, the Black Stars. In some point, of course, the change in date as per the request from our cherished title sponsors. So it's been a bit complicated. Okay, it's nobody's fault. I mean, when you work in a human environment where various factors determine the way you move, then you ought to pay attention to such factors. And of course, maybe if we had played it immediately after or on our first appointed date, perhaps the interest levels would have been different. But I think that we are getting there. I think that between today and Sunday, the momentum is moving to another crescendo or another level, and people will be at the stadium. We know of Mediama Sporting Club busing some of their supporters from Takwa, i.e. via their sponsors. We also know that Kotko have fans nationwide, and therefore they want to achieve the double. We also know that there's a certain interest from a certain club somewhere in the capital who are also too much interested in this particular grand finale because they are so much envious of the fact that the double may go to Kumasi. You know what I mean? I'm talking about House of Folk fans, and therefore they want to go there and throw their weight behind Mediama Sport. Don't forget that there are certain House of Folk elements in Mediama Sporting Club. Yeah. The president of the club is a known House of Folk sympathizer, Moses Sama. The vice president was a former employee of Accra House of Folk. Some of the players, the former captain of House of Folk, Nzimaba, is in the fold of Mediama Sporting Club. So there is a House of Folk flavor within the rank and file of Mediama Sporting Club. So we want to see what is going to happen. We shouldn't be surprised to see some old House of Folk gurus also appearing at the stadium trying to weigh their support behind Mediama
Sporting Club. And yet, so it means that clearly we have an issue with the synchronization of dates. It's something that you want to look at least in the next season, how to synchronize to ensure that the dates are syncing very well with the Premier League dates and all that's around us.
No, I think that, honestly speaking, this year we've done pretty well. Okay, pretty well in the sense that perhaps you don't know, but at the beginning of the season, the FA president directed that all competition committees, i.e. PLB, DFAC, they will meet together to put the program, the calendar of the federation together. And this is what we did. Okay, unfortunately, there are certain determinants of actions that we can't control, i.e. how far our clubs progress in CAF organized competition, we can't. How far we go in chunk competition, we can't control. You know what I mean? So, and therefore, when you're planning, there is always the need for you to leave spaces for plan Bs and plan Cs, etc., etc. Okay, and then there will be other external factors that you can't do anything about at all. You know, so yes, per our initial calendar, the FA Cup was supposed to finish 1 week before the Premier League, but it had to change the other way around because of factors that we all know. So this year we've planned together as a team, and I'm sure that in the next program for the next season, it was also going to be the same. All the 3 competition committees of the FA will be meeting to put up the dates and perhaps do the fixtures together and blah, 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 where applicable.
In terms of coverage with the lower tiers, like the Eastern Region, for instance, have been lost out, obviously, probably because of the issues there. But by Saturday, we are hoping that everything will be cleared out after the election takes place. Does that give them a chance to get back into the MTN FA Cup? Because upon a few interviews, they are a bit not happy, part of it.
I think that on our part, we were a bit concerned about the fact that there was no representation in our competition, especially from the second division level. Yeah. Because you could see that at the Division 1 level, there is a representation, okay? But with Division 2, there's always a problem, or there's been a problem because of the legal challenges. But having said that, we only hope that a solution will be found very soon. And I have always said that to every problem, there is a solution, okay? And once people put themselves together to find solutions to problems, solutions will be found. So yes, it's dragged for perhaps far too long, but I think that very soon we'll find a solution to it, and by which time the FA Cup committee will be in a situation to also admit clubs from the Eastern region. But having said that, I mean, like I said, it's been 48 Division 1 clubs, 48 Division 2, and 16 Premier League clubs. The FA is still in the market looking for additional sponsors, okay, and also getting MTN to extend or to re-engage, to be re-engaged for another tenure. But the FA is open to receive more sponsors, and once we have more sponsors coming into the competition, there'll be more money to the clubs, more money into the pockets of the players, into the pockets of match officials, and of course, more teams could be admitted into the competition.
So as it stands now, there's a feeling, in the Eastern region, the teams there, that if people are struggling for power and we might not get the chance to play in the Premier League, at least we should be given a chance to play in the MTN FA Cup. So just in case nothing doesn't go wrong. I know there are legal issues, but you want to look at it.
When the basics are wrong, they are wrong. I mean, there's not been any competition at the second division level for only God knows how many years.
I mean, about 2 years.
2 or 3 years, maybe.
2 or 3 years.
There's no basics for admission at all. It's a huge challenge. I remember we tried to go behind to find solutions and blah, blah, blah. Some of us have been speaking with key interest parties in that legal tussle, but unfortunately, it's the young boys from that region that have been suffering, and we only hope that a solution is found.
We're hoping definitely that you'll be a part of this one, and hoping that everything will happen well on Saturday, so that the Eastern region can be a part of the Ubia MTN FA Cup. We're still here with Ket. You're live on the Joy Sports channel and Multi TV. It's Sports Night. Let me come to you and let's talk about those who say that the MTN FA Cup competition hasn't provided good and worthy representatives for the Africa competition. We're talking about the CAF Confederations Cup. Indeed, we saw New Edubiase try something. Nanya FC didn't even go, and there are some concerns. What do you have to say to that?
I do not think that, or we do not think that it's an issue of lack of quality in terms of representation, because in season 1, Nanya FC defeated everybody. They defeated Chelsea, they defeated Kotoko, they defeated all the so-called big guns. So nobody, and I mean nobody, can say that Nanya FC were not worthy champions. Okay, they had the materials to represent Ghana, but they didn't have the money. And I've always said, George, that until our governments decide to support our clubs who venture into Africa, these are the kind of problems we're going to get. Okay, I know that there's arguments about how clubs have behaved in the time past, because at a certain point in time they were being supported by government, and then there was a pullout because of disagreement, blah blah. But I belong to that school of thought that when clubs go out of this country to represent Ghana, they ought to receive financial support from governments. I'm not talking about the current government. Governments in power, they must support our clubs. Okay, they support our national teams because our national teams represent Ghana outside the shores of Ghana. They carry the flag of Ghana. How about our clubs? And I'm saying that you go to neighboring countries, you just name them, they always receive governmental support. Okay, if Nanya had the support, Nanya could have competed. Same is applicable to New Edubiase. Yes, if they had the support, they would have been able to compete. You know what I mean? So, as a result of this, MTN, our title sponsors, have decided to take the step. What they have done is to set aside 50,000 Ghana cedis to be given to the club that will represent Ghana in the Confederations Cup.
That's good.
Okay, that could serve as a seed money for the club. So we don't want a situation where a club will say, okay, I don't have money, so I'm not competing, like Nanya FC did. Or I don't have money, so I don't want to travel too far. You know what I mean? So that would be seed money for the club that represents Ghana. But I think that it's time our government support our clubs to be able to compete. Look at Ebenezer Asifua. Look at the young boys who are making Ghana proud and making big inroads into international football. Okay, who would have known these players if they had not had the opportunity of representing Ghana on that big stage? Ebenezer Asifua would have been playing in the Glow Premier League. That would be the end of it. You know what I mean? But the whole world is paying attention to a talent called Asifua because of the platform he's playing. You know? So, if we believe that the Confederations Cup or the Champions League presents to Ghanaian footballers and the football industry a bigger and better platform to showcase what they have as individuals and as a country, then we ought to support them financially. That's the only way.
So, Kurt making the point very clear. There's still some more on the show. We'll be taking a short break. When we come back, there's a lot more to talk about. And how about the monies? How about the sponsorship? Remember that the MTN deal is coming to a close at the end of this season. There are a couple of issues to be sorted out. Kurt will definitely be here with us, and we'll definitely talk a lot about all of that. We take a short break. We're back after this. You're still live on your Joy Sports channel on Multi TV. It's Sports Night, and tonight we are looking and delving deep into the MTN FA Cup competition. Remember that Kotoko and Mediama would have to do it. Asante Kotoko are looking for the double so badly. Accra Hartsburg don't want them to. It's amazing what Accra Hartsburg don't want Asante Kotoko. I mean, you're not part of this. You're not part of this, but Accra Hartsburg are so much into this.
It's like, if I can't do it, you must also not do it.
It's very, very interesting. Well, that's how everything is going, and we'll see how everything pans out really on Sunday. It's going to be a big one. But Kat, let's talk about sponsorship issues. Let's talk about the prize money, and there's a feeling that there's some sort of rivalry between the MTN FA Cup competition and the Premier League. Obviously, maybe between the sponsors of both.
I do not know what kind of rivalry you're talking about.
The push to want to do something greater.
What I know,
the push to want to do something greater, greater than what they do for the players.
What I know for a fact is that our competition is bigger than the Premier League. It's simple.
That's in itself a rivalry.
Yeah,
why would you say
that's
that?
the only rivalry I know.
Why would you say that?
But even if there is, that is it. We have 112 clubs and they have 16. And their clubs are part of our competition.
They play more teams. They play more games than you play.
Do you know how many games we play?
Amazing.
111 games we play. Okay, so simple.
Simple.
Having said that, on a more serious note, no, I think that we try to do our bit. We are part of the Football Association, the Premier League Board, the FA Cup Committee, the DOL are all standing committees of the Football Association who have been mandated to organize certain competitions. Okay, we are not rivals. We work hand in hand. Indeed, like I said earlier on, we've received good support from the DOL and the PLB, led by Chairman Abrapia, who is always quick to go on the phone and talk to you. But like I said, we also want to brighten the corner where we are a baby in terms of what has been happening in the football industry. The competition was very active before it went into abeyance for 10 years, and this is the third season since its revival. The prize money, yes, 30,000 Ghana cedis. The runner-up, 15,000 Ghana cedis. Again, our trophy is the biggest trophy you can find in the football industry here in Ghana, and it's the heaviest. Okay, so Mediama players and Kotoko players be warned. If you don't have too much power in your hands, don't try to lift the trophy on Sunday. Okay, and beyond that, there's 35 gold medals to be won, 35 silver medals, and most importantly, like I said, whoever represents Ghana in the Confederations Cup will have a seed money of 50,000 Ghana cedis, and this is a big plus. Beyond this, MTN will be rewarding the most valuable player of the game, the best defender of the game, and then the discovery of the game. Okay, the most valuable player will take home 200 Ghana cedis worth of talk time. The defender of the game will take home 100 Ghana, and the discovery of the game will also take home 100 Ghana. This is a big improvement from what we've been doing over the last 2 years. So I think that overall, last but not the least, there's 25% to be taken from the gates, okay, by both clubs, by each of the two teams.
Okay, that's really
cool. So there's a lot at stake, beyond which you have the chance to represent Ghana in the Confederations Cup. Somebody just told me before I walked in that Kotoko intends to compete in the Confederations Cup because there's 50,000 to be
maybe
because they have won the Premier League and there's no 50,000.
There's no 50,000. So okay, it settles the issues. But to clear it up, for viewers watching, to just clear it up for you to understand, in the case where Kumasi Asante Kotoko win, then it means the media must still going.
No, it depends on what Kotoko wants to do.
Kotoko will decide, because then they have qualified for the Champions League.
They must decide. Yes,
that one million must go.
If Kotoko thinks that they want to compete in the Confederations Cup because there's 50,000 Ghana is there, so be it.
So they want to compete in the Champions League and the Confederations Cup?
No. They must compete in one.
Okay,
yes,
so they will choose one.
If they decide to go for the Confederations Cup, that's the end of the story. Then what happens is that the club that plays second. On the league table will go to the Champions League. Yeah.
Well, I understand that's the reason why Accra was
so I'm sure that there will be
that leeway.
I'm sure that there will be some maneuverings and lobbying in the background as we get ready for the big game on Sunday.
It happens. But you can just hold in there no matter what happens. Probably Media might get to be in the Confederations Cup.
And let's see the quality on the pitch.
50,000 is also one that's at the eye-popping 50,000 is what is
causing
the problem.
So you can see that in all,
so
we're giving 30,000, 15,000, which is what? 45,000 and 50,000, 95,000 only on Sunday.
Doing very well. They are doing very well. And we can talk some more. But in terms of clubs, all the various clubs who competed, entitlements, everything has been sorted out. That's right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you speak to them, they will tell you. We've always given them credits, talk time, all given out by MTN, our title sponsors, appearance fees, or whatever you want to call it, we've always paid. Okay, and because it's all been budgeted for by the FA, and therefore there are no problems.
No problems at all with that. Yeah, let's look at we're going to have anything of the MTN Awards night. Have
of
that
course,
come in there, and you will not leave out the media. You are giving money.
You work with multimedia. When you do a good job like you're doing at the moment, okay, at the end of the season or at the end of the year, you expect somebody to say, "Come on, George, you did a good job." Okay, congratulations. It's applicable in every industry, and we think that having traveled from October of last year to July of this year, people have sacrificed. People have gone the extra mile to make sure that the competition is sustained, the competition is interesting, and people have grown to love the competition because of various rules played by various people. You know what I mean? So at the end of it, you ought to reward people. You ought to say, look, Medase, for what you have done. You ought to say that, look, Medase, for ditching that club and qualifying to the next stage. Medase, for not giving me the ball, but putting the ball in the net and becoming the top scorer of the competition. You know what I mean? So definitely on the 31st of August, we shall have the MTN FA Cup Awards at the State Banquet Hall. Okay. Any more things you want to say about that? Or you're still in the process of putting all together? No, I think that it's even an exclusive for Joy Sports. Yes. I mean, because we've not announced the dates yet, but you are privileged to have it. It's 31st of August at the State Banquet Hall. I think that everybody who has contributed towards the success story of the MTN FA Cup will be duly recognized.
That is something that we'll be looking out
for. That will be the day some of us will be dancing. No, but last year we had a fantastic, a very, very interesting FA Cup Awards night where we had the dancehall king, Samini, treating us to some wonderful tunes, and nobody could sit on their chairs. You could see the FA president, you could see yours truly, everybody on the dance floor, and it was an amazing night, and we're looking forward to repeating that. What we have always promised our fans is that we've always promised a good grand finale, a good awards night. This is key for us. This is key. And I'm sure that on Sunday, people will leave their Accra Sports Stadium having been satisfied for the 2 cities that they are going to pay. And then, of course, we shall all be looking forward to the big awards night on the 31st of August.
Right, so we can talk about your relationship with MTN. It's supposed to be officially coming to a close after 3 years. What is the current state of affairs now? In terms of renewal, what's happening?
Well, I think that, first of all, we've had a very good relationship with MTN. Very, very good in the sense that every decision that we have taken the decision with MTN, okay? We're always in dialogue. I mean, this week we've met, I think, once or twice this week, looking at what lies ahead of us. Today we've been talking. Overall, they are very happy with the product. The MTN FA Cup is a huge, huge product, and they are proud to be associated with it. And I think that there's no signals at all that they will not want to maintain the relationship they have. I mean, if you have a girlfriend or you have a wife and there's a good relationship and you are enjoying, why would you want to have a look back like this? You know what I mean? I mean, you ought to look forward. So they are enjoying their marriage with us. We're cooking for them. And I think they are enjoying the meal, and I think that they will want to continue to enjoy the meal.
So not even if you have a better wife, not even if you had somebody who was just on your
once
shoulders.
you have a
Because
wife, you have a wife. You know what I mean?
Now it's become very attractive. Somebody comes in with much better, packages.
No,
Won't you be
look,
tempted to look over?
If I have money, I want to do proper makeup for my wife. I want to make sure that she is on good food. She's in good dresses. Blah blah blah. I wouldn't want to go for another one.
Not at all.
No.
So it's MTN all the way.
It may be.
Okay, MTN in the big. Well, I'm going to give you an invoice, so that's really on the platform. You're still live on your Joy Sports channel. It's a Sports Night. The MTN FA Cup. So let's go through the tickets and issues again, because this is a current affairs program, right? And we want people to be updated. So you want to go through the ticketing system again for Sunday.
Okay. What I have said, and I'm going to repeat again, is that we want to allow many people to have access. Okay. The gates are going for 2 Ghana cedis, popular stand, 2 Ghana cedis. Osu stand will go for 3 Ghana cedis, the lower VIP, 5 Ghana cedis, upper VIP, 5 Ghana cedis, and the VVIP, 10 Ghana cedis.
And you made the point about women going through.
Yes.
I wonder why you never say guys. I mean, women, the guys and the boys can go, leave the men.
Naturally, George, the consumers of this sport are men or boys.
Okay.
I mean, it's a known norm.
Okay.
It's men who love the sport. Women hardly love the sport.
Okay.
So it's a grey area that marketers have to cash in. We need to encourage women to begin to consume football. Once they have decided not even to consume ampe anymore, they must come over and consume football. You know what I mean? Women are not playing ampe anymore. It's dead.
It's dead.
And that is their conventional sport, ampe. Okay. So we are trying to get them to be interested in the game. Okay. So women will come in free. So for instance, if you have a sister, I'm sure you do.
She can come.
Bring
in
her along. Okay.
But
if you have a girlfriend,
if you have
a girlfriend, bring her along. If you have a wife, that I'm just being told.
Oh, no. Can't be going out your love invoice. That's another invoice for you as well.
If you have a wife, like I'm just being told, bring her along.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Same is applicable to everybody in multimedia. You know, because look, the game must develop, and we need to help people to come along with us. Okay, kids will have free access, ladies free access. If you go to the gates and somebody's taking money from you, tell them Keto Kraku said, I must not pay.
That's right.
This goes to all ladies, okay? Just come in. There'll be good brass band music, good food, good water to drink. Come and enjoy yourselves on
You can
Sunday.
always trust MTN on the food. I think it's not done bad when it comes to food there. So we're just wrapping this up. We're wrapping this up. And final one, quick one. Your expectations on Sunday.
First of all, we're expecting a good game, bottom line. Good attendance. We are grateful to everybody who has been supportive of this product. Multimedia, so grateful. All the media partners who have helped us come this far, we are grateful. And we are hoping that on Sunday, each one of us will be at the Accra Sports Stadium to see a good game.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keto Kreku. And he says I should call him the member of the committee.
Yeah.
It sounds like, a communications guy. But thank you very much for watching as well. Tomorrow morning, there is sports today, and so you can catch a glimpse of that as well. We'll be talking more about the MTN FA Cup, and of course, on Joy FM, our sports center, we'll talk a lot about the MTN FA Cup. And then on Sunday, make sure you're there. Bring your wives free of charge. And man, you are still going to pay until and everything that happens there. My name is George Addo Jr. Thank you very much for joining us on this one. We're definitely back next week. Hope to see you on Sunday.